Oh my God, I am so excited to do this podcast. So firstly, I'm just going to actually have a quick little sing out. I wasn't going to say this, but I was like, okay, I'm going to shout out to everybody. If you listen to my podcast, if you value being your best self, if you value good health, if you value like kicking anxiety and depression's ass and wanting to be a better human, and those people that are around you, like in your immediate life, who don't value those things as well, and if you find a disconnect with them and you find it hard to communicate with them and the rest of it, join my Facebook group. Because I've had so many people singing out recently, just like jumping on board with all this bandwagon stuff, or know a whole bunch of things and just get around and they're like, oh yeah, that's good stuff. Singing out and reaching out. We're kind of like creating a little tribe. And obviously when the Facebook group gets bigger and all the things are getting better, like I want to organize some events and stuff. And then we can all just hang out and nerd out together and talk about all this good stuff. Because I know what it's like when you are doing all these things, striving to be your best self, focusing on your health, trying to get fit, trying to look best, be a better person as best as possible, trying to be the best dad, business owner, responsibility person, whatever it is that you can be. And then like you hang around with people in your circle when you're just like, oh God, you guys don't value any of this shit at all. Like that shit's hard. So actually join that Facebook group, because we're going to be doing some cool stuff. Yeah. Extremely pumped. Have you on. You are completely welcome for all this stuff. And if you want to have a chat about anything and just like get around stuff, like sing out, man, send me a message. I will get back to you and we can chat good stuff. It's fucking amazing. So yeah, just singing out. I wasn't going to say that, but I felt like I needed to today. Cool. So I'm going to share with you guys a quote. And this was really funny because I had my journal and I was like, I'm going to share a Friedrich Nietzsche quote on my podcast today. Because if you guys listen to my stuff, you know that I love Friedrich Nietzsche. I think his thoughts the best. So I went to grab my journal and like the pages had already kind of like mucked around, and I picked up the journal and I was just like looked at the first page. It was completely random that it was on, and I was like, yeah, I'll just say that. So here is a quote. Listen to this one. So this is create beyond yourself. This is probably like one of my most favorite quotes from Friedrich Nietzsche. Yeah, I got like a bracelet and I got like the create beyond yourself like inscripted on it. I should probably get a tattoo somewhere. I haven't got any tattoos yet. I'm clean, but I'll probably get a tattoo of that somewhere. What the body most desires is to create beyond itself. That is its highest wish and its whole ardour. Those who are no longer able to create beyond themselves and who can despise will. Those who despise will despise their own self, their body, their life, others, and the earth, because they are no longer able to create beyond yourself. That forward momentum, that progress, that relates to today's podcast. So the main thing in here is keep creating beyond yourself. Ooh. Then I had another point here, which is killer. So I just had this, so it was just like notes to myself, and it was just like around this. How do I do this? Sort out in your routine. Train your muscles, train your brain and your mind, and train your intentions. God, I love that so much. All right, guys, I hope you're as excited for me. So this is About Wellbeing Podcast episode 23. I literally had to go onto my podcast and have a look what number I was at because I'm goddamn getting lost. So today is Confidence Decoded. I'm so excited to share this. I'm so excited for this podcast. I started writing out like all my notes I've got all these pages of notes here. I started writing out all my notes. Whoa, don't full book. And as I started writing out the notes, I was like, shit, I need to write a article on this because it's so hectic. I was getting into it, using all these different theories. I was like, man, people aren't going to be able to, like, they'll be able to listen to this and follow along, but then they'll be like, now what do I do with all this stuff? So I wrote it all down in an article. If you go to my website, www.coreyboutwell.com, Confidence Decoded is the article. I'm basically going to be going over my notes in here and then going off on tangents and things like that. Yeah, I think this one's pretty good. Yeah, and if you guys know, and if you listen to podcast episode 2, or you've seen my About Wellbeing hierarchy of needs, hold on, sniffles, sorry, hay fever, blah, blah, blah. I have the second step in my hierarchy is self-love needs, inner power. So when you love yourself, that cultivates inner power, and inner power is your self-confidence. Yeah, honestly, when you look at those people who are like just high performers, elite people in their fields, they seem powerful. You're like, oh, that person is powerful in here. And in the mind, why is that? Because they're confident and they believe in themselves. So that is the definition of confidence, by the way, self-belief. Now, all right, I'm just going to get into it. Confidence decoded. If you find it hard to follow along with this stuff, like, don't worry. I've got the article out, but listen, take, and soak all of this in. So before we get into this podcast, strap yourself in, put your thinking cap on, try to be aware. Don't let your mind zone off during this podcast. Stay with me for this good stuff. Something in here, like there's absolute bombs in here, something in here may change your life. Honestly, something in here might just shift your perspective. You might know all this stuff. And also, I don't know everything. This is all just my perspective and what I research and what I think is best as possible. You may know something more about self-confidence and stuff that I don't. You may have a personal experience that is better than the things that I can explain. So please, if you're watching a YouTube video, comment. If you're on the post for my Instagram, comment on that. Because I'm sure that something you may say may help someone else as well. It may even help me. It might be something in here that could be like, wow, we could be all a lot more confident because of your wisdom. So please share. Please share. Would love to. On any of my stuff, just comment because if it's really good, I'll just chuck it in the article. Hey, and you can be like, this man. So anyway, let's get into it. So confidence decoded. What is self-confidence? So basically, I think self-confidence is, my opinion, self-love. When you really like yourself, it's a lot easier and you're proud of the things that you do. That cultivates inner power. And with inner power, that comes with self-belief. What I've written in here is, confidence equals inner power, and it's not a personality trait. So when you see someone that is confident, obviously some people do have, everyone's completely different with, their whole bodies and all the rest of it, their own minds. And some people are naturally, have different skills than other people. So obviously some people are going to be more confident than other as they've cultivated that skill. But it's not a personality trait. I believe it's a skill. Some of the research in here suggests that too. And I really believe that it's a side effect of good health, progress, and purpose. So if you're healthy and happy, if you've got forward momentum and you're progressing and you're clear on your purpose, confidence is just a side effect of that. So it's like, what can you do? So I believe that those who are physically fit, healthy, happy with themselves, happy with their body, and who they are as a human, tend to be like, have a greater energy, and their confidence radiates. Those who have poor health, who are unfit, who eat terribly, who get poor sleep, and who look unwell, and their energies are down, and they're disconnected to their purpose, and they're not aligned with that, obviously seem less confident, or it's harder for them to be more confident. Or even if they are confident, they could be a lot more confident if they sorted those things out. Holy shit! So I think that's pretty important. So you don't have to have confidence. If you do not have confidence, or you would like to become more confident, I personally think you should prioritize on focusing on your health first. Your physical health and your mental health. If you look at my hierarchy, you've got the physiological health needs is the thing on the bottom. If you focus on that and get that really a good foundation there, confidence comes a lot easier and a lot more natural. You're proud of the things that you're doing. You're a lot more disciplined with stuff. And because you're doing those things and you're following along with it, and you're progressing and you're transforming yourself, it's just all these basic human needs, right? And you're doing all of those things. You're being responsible for yourself. And then when you're responsible for yourself, when you get really good at being responsible for yourself, you have responsibility as a skill left over to be responsible for other people. If you think that confidence isn't going to come as a side effect from that, it's damn gonna. So I believe that those who succeed, be happy, learn and grow and keep on succeeding. No, those who learn and grow, they keep on succeeding, being happy, learning and growing. Those who are anxious, depressed and find life difficult will keep on being anxious, depressed and finding life difficult. So what I mean by that is that the only thing you can do is to keep momentum moving or change your momentum. I believe that confidence comes as a side effect as well as all those other things, but the main thing it comes from is momentum. You're either moving forwards or you're either moving backwards. Why is that? Whatever you're focusing on, right, whatever you're focusing on comes as a reflection of yourself. So whatever you're focusing on is going to happen. Law of attraction, I'm going to do a podcast on that soon about how like whatever you're focusing on and doing comes into your life. So if you're constantly focusing on negative things are going to keep on happen, because, you know, why would good stuff happen? You're not focusing on them. Your brain and your unconscious mind, when you're constantly exposed to negative things, will find the negative things in your life. I mean, our brains are 75% wired towards negative stuff and threat anyway to protect us from danger. So it's very hard for us to get into the positive side of things. Like, it's hard for us. It's a lot natural and a lot more easier to think about the negative shit. But if you're extremely healthy and like, I think helps you like be a lot more resilient and puts up a bit of a shield there for negativity and stuff to penetrate your mind. And when you can consciously focus on positive things and you're making yourself and you keep reminding yourself not to focus on the negative, focus on the positive, find that stuff, is that your unconscious mind will start looking at the positives in things. And you will focus, your momentum will start moving that way instead of backwards. But just simply being aware of where your momentum is going, like a good example for me when I had a breakup a couple of months ago, mind, bang, because I was in a bad state, unhappy, depressed, super sad, crying and shit. I noticed my mind found it very easy to focus on negative things. But when you pick yourself up, you're looking after your health, you're doing things that are progressing, you're following your purpose, you feel connected to your friends and your family, you're doing stuff that's beyond yourself, creating beyond yourself, positive things start to come in real easy. And when that happens, I find myself, whoa, I feel a lot more confident in myself right now. I really believe in myself. And there's also actually, I'm just going to get into, there was another definition of confidence that I had here. I'm just going to quickly get it up. I completely forgot that I missed it. 2 seconds, guys, because this makes a lot of sense. I really like this one. So it isn't just self-belief. Sorry, guys. Where is it? If you do not have... Nah, we'll get into that. It'll come up later. It was really good. But it'll definitely... Yes, self-confidence brings about more happiness. Typically, when you're confident in your abilities, you're happier due to your successes. When you are feeling better about your capabilities, the more energized and motivated you are to take action to achieve your goals. But we'll get into that a little bit better. Is that the actual one? Here we go. Here is the definition. Sorry, guys, that took a couple of seconds. So this is all studied stuff. There's all the studies on the website, on the article, the rest of it. Another popular article defines self-confidence as an individual's expectations of performance and self-evaluation of abilities and prior performance. Boom. Self-confidence is an individual's trust in his, this is the key, trust, is an individual's trust in his or her abilities, capacities and judgments, or belief that he or she can successfully face day-to-day challenges and demands. That's why I was talking about the health thing. I really think that day-to-day challenges, a lot of them are literally looking after yourself. You know, putting in time for well-being, getting fit, eating healthy, getting good sleep, making sure that you're recovering, making sure that you're giving time for your mind to heal itself, making sure that you're staying away from distractions and the rest of it in order to be self-confident. I'll repeat that one more time. Defines self-confidence as an individual's trust in his or her own capabilities, capacities, and judgments, or belief that he or she can successfully face day-to-day challenges and demands. Holy! I love that one. I goddamn love that one. So, yeah, so I think one of the best things you can do, so focusing on making your health a priority will help you build or increase forward momentum. This can be done by achieving small wins and building a good foundation for yourself. When you start setting little things, and like I have a little checklist, I guess, of like just stuff to do, like make your bed, brush your teeth, do a little bit of cardio today, do a little bit of lifting, look after something, eat some healthy eat some healthy meals, stay away from saying no to some of the things that you know that you shouldn't be, resisting temptation, and doing a couple little things for yourself that you know are going to make you happy are wins. When you experience those wins, that's a little positive thing which are going to help forward momentum build up. And then you'll get more productive and more self-confident, and it'll just keep getting bigger and better. So yes, setting yourself up for forward momentum is so critical for your self-esteem and confidence. We'll get into the science a little bit more. So, my experience of it. So basically, I experienced a whole lot of confidence, like up and down, from competing in the bodybuilding shows. I've competed in heaps of bodybuilding shows. I've competed in lots of dance competitions, and I've had a lot of firsts, right? When you're competing on the way up, because you have a whole bunch of goals and you have set tasks and actions, and you're ticking all the little things off, and you're watching your weight drop every single week, and you're sticking to your meals, and you're doing your cardio every single week, every single day, and you're training all the time, and you've got this huge goal set, and you're making the steps towards that. It's literally like project management and risk management, making sure you're prepared to not actually fuck up any of the things that you're doing. What happens is you feel so good because forward momentum is rolling so much because you're watching everything happening, and that forward momentum just absolutely supercharges itself every time you tick something off the list, and you go, oh God, I've got this huge purpose. And when you do all of that, like your competition, like your confidence and self-esteem into that competition fucking explodes. I've never been so confident before, like leading up to the competition and the competition. Like if someone had to just tell me to do anything, I'd be like, yeah, I'll fucking do it. Like I literally can do anything. I am super powerful right now. Superhuman. Why is that? Because I'm so convicted for what I want to do. My purpose is there. I'm making progress. And because it's a bodybuilding competition, I like to do things healthy. I'm extremely healthy. So that's what I said before. Being extremely healthy, making sure there's progress, and you're connected to your purpose. It's all there when you lay that out for yourself. So set a goal for yourself. Just a little sneaky side tip there. And basically afterwards, after the comp, what happens is it all crashes, all this confidence just goes crashing down. There's this term called post-comp blues. If you haven't heard about it, basically heaps of athletes and stars and like quick celebrities and stuff get it. Basically it's just a lot of depression and anxiety kick in after you have a huge major event. Why is that? Well, you've just had all these tasks that you've been ticking off, daily things and all this stuff. And if you're doing an athlete thing, you're getting fitter every single day. You're getting healthier every single day. You have this convicted goal that you really want to absolutely crush. You get to that goal. You crush it. You give it your absolute best effort. Once that's over, what do you do now? Exactly, right? You're like, you didn't have to tick these tasks every day. You didn't have this highly convicted goal that you feel obliged to stick to. What the fuck are you going to do now? People's minds go into this limbo. It's like this absolute limbo stage of, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, not feeling 100%. Why am I not confident anymore? Why do I not like myself anymore? Why does everything seem to feel like it's spiraling downwards? Backwards momentum settles in. So how do you get around this? Basically what do? You've got to keep setting goals for yourself, right? You have to keep setting goals and like milestones, little things to stick to the task, build up forward momentum. Set another goal that's connected to your purpose, make some progress towards that, and make sure you're sticking to the things that are going to make you healthy as well. So the key here is to know is that like momentum is always moving, right? It's back or forwards. So you need to set some goals, milestones, make sure you're getting those small wins so your mood gets better, your sense of accomplishment and overall well-being increases, and you can get back on track and you can keep on improving. I mean, have you ever heard of the term winners win? Why do winners win? That forward momentum is just rolling, right? They're used to it. It's happening, and they're keeping themselves accountable. So like one of the things I did was after my last bodybuilding competition was I sang out to my mates, I'm like, let's do a triathlon, a mini one. But it was a healthy goal. It was something big. We did it collectively together. We had milestones, tasks, goals. So I had to eat real good. I had to train all the time. I had to keep my cardio up. I had to keep my bodybuilding stuff on because I want to keep all these muscles, baby. We had to keep doing all the stuff. So yeah, it worked out really well. So my personal plan in life is basically to be an elite optimized human specimen, like as best as possible and exceed in everything. That includes like having a clear purpose, being full of passion, making a shitload of impact. We're working back on that. We're working on that. Thank you for joining this journey, by the way. Fucking thank you. I want my physical strength and fitness to be at a world-class level. I want my body to be the sexiest body in the world. And I'm not saying that selfishly, I want it to be there. That is honestly a goal of mine. You might laugh at that, but I fucking want that. And I look at that. I want to look at photos of myself and be like, you're the best. I want to do that so bad, and I'll try my hardest. Even if I don't get there, I'll try my hardest to keep goddamn trying to get there. I want to have the healthiest human body and mind I could ever possibly achieve. Whatever my genetics will allow, I want to max it out. I want to have extreme wealth, freedom. I want to be extremely successful in business. At the same time, I want to be humble, kind, compassionate human that can take responsibility for not only myself, but the others with a sense of patience. I also want to create beyond myself every single day. Am I there yet? Absolutely fucking not. That is just the goals though. But I work towards these goals every day, week, month, and year. Now the thing is with these goals, a side effect of those goals for me is fitness competitions, bodybuilding, because they give me the excuse and the accountability to stick towards these goals. It is not the be all and end all. So what happens is after a huge competition that I have, after a big old competition of all the stuff, I've still got to stay on track. I've still got all the health goals to achieve. I've still got the fitness goals, things to do. I've still got all the learning and growing and researching and stuff that I do in order to keep momentum moving forward, because those are the goals. The bodybuilding thing is like a physical excuse that I can actually do in order to chase these overarching big goals. And because I'm aware and I'm clear on those things, that can help me build up some self-confidence big time, because momentum is moving forwards. So yeah, when my momentum starts to fall backwards, I remind myself, firstly, I've got to get fucking aware of it. That's why I do meditation all the time and why I believe that it's so fucking powerful, because you just have that time to let your mind go to think, oh fuck, I'm on a backwards train right now, or I'm not 100%. I can be better. I want to get back on track. What am I going to do? Get that forward momentum rolling. Remind myself of this ambitions that I got and start achieving those small little wins at the foundational level. Get that physiological health sorted, mind and body. Start doing the things that I value, like cleanliness, learning, and then get the momentum rolling. Like I really value being clean. Like sometimes I say no to it. I'm like, nah, too tired, whatever, it's clean. Then I wake up and I'm like, frustrates me. Like when I'm extremely busy, I've got stuff to do, I find myself cleaning a lot so that like I feel like I can think better when stuff is clean, especially if it's tidy. And I also like learning. Learning helps me like feel proud of myself because I'm actually like doing something with my life. I'm not being stagnant. Because I keep on learning, momentum moves forward. So that's my own experience, and that has just that has helped me become confident, I believe. I feel pretty damn confident a lot of the time. I'm pretty proud of actually my own confidence. I'm not saying that lightly either. So, like yourself for the good or the bad. Overcome or embrace yourself, baby. So that's the quote, relevant to the quote at the start, which when I picked that book, I was like, it was meant to happen, this quote. The opposite of confidence, right? What is the opposite of confidence? So that's basically having low self-esteem, low efficacy, and you do not value yourself. Self-esteem is self-value. So here's two important questions I'll get into self-esteem, the definitions of that in a minute. But what is two important questions to ask yourself? So one, ask yourself this question. Why do you or would you not value yourself? Why would you not? What's something about yourself that you don't value? Why would you not value yourself? Number two, where are you struggling with giving into resistance in your life? So where do you experience resistance? Where's it coming? Whether it's like, for me, I have to get in this ice bath, I have to have a cold shower, I have to make these meals, I have to go to the gym, I have to do this confidence, I have to do this cardio, no confidence. Where is those resistance coming from in your life? And for me, I like the quote, lean into resistance, because whatever you're experiencing the most resistance from means that you're going to get the best results and the most transformation in your life if you follow along with that resistance and you dive into that shit. Oh, I don't want to do this. Next minute, boom, something amazing happens. I've experienced that like way too many goddamn times now, which is crazy. Discipline, by the way. So so just knowing these things, like, you know, why you wouldn't value yourself, or why do you value yourself, and then also knowing that where you're struggling with resistance gets clear on where you need to be disciplined. And I think that's extremely important, because that's where you need to imply discipline. Discipline is doing the things you know you need to do that you hate doing, like you love them. For me, ice baths, man. Every Friday I think, Corey's getting ice bath every Friday, whatever. Fuck, man, it's hard. I hate it. Sometimes I don't want to get into the cold. God damn. But I do it like I love it. I get in there and then have like the best experience ever. But it's the same thing with cleaning for the rest of it, with dieting, with not eating crazy good food all the time. Like I'm on a bit of a shred at the moment. I lost 4 kilos in 2 weeks, which is hectic. Just cut out a few things, started adding in a bit of cardio. I started eating pancakes at night time. For some reason, body loves pancakes. Boom! It's a healthy recipe though. Like the most neck level tasty but healthy recipe for pancakes. My God, blow your mind. But next minute, shred up like crazy. God damn. But yeah, I think that's an extremely important point. Getting clear on the resistance and things where you need to apply discipline, and then remind yourself that discipline is doing the things you know you need to do, that you hate like you love them. And hello, transformation. So, what is self-esteem? What is self-efficacy? And what is self-confidence? Is there similarities? Are there difference? Basically, self-esteem plus self-efficacy equals self-confidence. They are a result of it. They make up self-confidence. So, and self-esteem and self-efficacy, by doing all the small things, actually help you like respect yourself, and then you can dramatically increase your self-confidence. They're the things that I believe you can get the most amount of self-efficacy and self-esteem by doing all the small little health things for your mind and your body. Basically, self-esteem is your perceived value of yourself for your own self-worth and your self-value. Already said that. Self-esteem is your perceived self-worth or self-value. So do you actually value yourself? Well, that gets me to the question, well, how could you value yourself? And for me, it's like, well, if I'm happy, healthy, abundant in, you could say, just abundant in myself, abundant in energy, I can value myself. I can be happy with myself, because no matter what's happening, no matter what someone's complaining about, oh, my back and this hurts, or oh, I got to go to the doctors to get this sorted, or oh, I've tried these things and nothing ever works for me, or oh, I'm sick of this job and I hate this job, and oh, like I don't have all these good friends around me and all this stuff, and oh, I wish I could be kind of like this person, and I wish I could be like that person, comparing, blah, 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 blah. Like, well, imagine if you were extremely fit, like beyond the average fit. Imagine if you were extremely healthy and like had a really sexy body, and imagine if your brain worked extremely well and you were just flooded with positivity, like because of all these things that you're doing for yourself. Do you think your self-worth and self-value would increase? Yup. Especially if you're eating like nutritionally well. Yup. You will value yourself so much better. Yep. Value yourself so much goddamn better. So, self-efficacy is an individual's beliefs to influence the events in their own lives and the ability to handle future situations. Oh, I'm going to repeat that again because this is just good to know. Self-efficacy is an individual's beliefs to influence the events in their own lives and the ability to handle future situations. So if you're zoning out, stay with me here. I'm not even going for half an hour, but stay with me. This is the nuggets. This is the nuggets. We're going to dissolve all of these things. So what does it mean by individuals' beliefs to influence the events in their lives? Meaning you got control of your own stuff. You can, whatever you choose to do in your life happens. And whatever resistance come up for you, you can still overcome them and create beyond yourself in order to achieve those things. It's your ability to handle future situations. When you know things are coming up and you get anxious about those things, worrying about them, all the rest of it, you can believe that you can influence the things so that those events can happen extremely well. A lot of people can do that. Now that is power. Self-confidence, right? Basically, you could ask the question then, like, okay, well, how can I increase my self-efficacy? And I believe that when your mind and your body, again, is sorted out, when you're extremely healthy, when you're eating well, when you're sleeping well, you're well rested, and your body is extremely fit, and you have all these crazy different energies. And there's studies for this, by the way, I'll get into them in a bit. But when you have all of these different things, I believe that it's a lot easier for you. You have the resistance to overcome hurdles and stuff because you have a better energy, and it helps you because you're doing all these little things. You're proving to yourself that you can actually do them. You're like, I have influence over myself because I can do these small things and look after myself. And when you're doing them, something else happens. You now have that skill from doing those things for yourself to overcome the rest of it. Self-efficacy. Self-confidence is simply belief in oneself and trust in one's own abilities, capacities, and judgments, or believe that you can successfully face day-to-day challenges and demands. God damn, that is so good. So, with that, this quote I found on Instagram the other day, loved it, wrote it down. Important quote, thinking cap on. Thinking cap on, stay with me. We live in a time when our problems are not so obvious, and the solutions are not so complex. What? Repeat it again. We live in a time where our problems are not so obvious and our solutions are not complex. What? Isn't that the goddamn truth? So basically, what I mean by that is like 2020, we are highly distracted. We're plugged in all the time. We're experiencing immediate gratification. We're so fucking busy. Like, everyone is so busy. We're so disconnected and unaware of just like our not so complex problems that we lose our self-esteem and our value in ourselves. We lose our self-efficacy because we find it hard to believe, to influence in our own life. We can't believe in our own influence that we have in our own life. We find it hard, which leads to a decrease in confidence, a belief in ourselves. And the worst part of it is that we have no idea why. We're like, why is this? Well, we're so busy, distracted. We've got jobs, family relationships, personal relationships, social media stress. We've got, hierarchy stress. Like, are we actually climbing this hierarchy or not? We've got love stress. We've got, are we bringing enough value for what we're doing? And then, like, is our house clean? Are we in a rush? We blah, blah, blah. Travel time, blah, blah. Just our lives are so hectic. And then on our phones, comparing, worrying about other shit, worrying about what other people are doing, watching all their stuff, and then jump on, you got the news people, right? Yeah, isn't that just stressing you out? It's stressing me out just talking about it. Yuck, right? So, yeah, so I think the point here is that getting clear on the non-complex problems that we need to do in order to increase our self-esteem and self-efficacy can be drastically beneficial for our own self-confidence. I think that because we're so distracted, right, with our lives, work, and the rest of it, is we forget the basic things. We forget the foundational things. We forget that biologically we're just fucking human. And what we need to do to survive, to thrive, what we need to do to actually thrive is to just fucking eat well, get some good sleep, make sure you're resting emotionally and physically, make sure you're recharging, make sure you're doing things like stretching and the rest of it so your body is just fucking like a rubber band that feels amazing. You're being extremely fit and you're eating things that are going to nutritionally recharge your body and your brain and your mind, and just the meditating stuff. Like, fuck, we used to do that all the time ancestrally age ago. That's all we fucking did. But we're so caught up in the rest of it that we find it hard. Well, we just fucking forget. We just fucking absolutely forget. So, you know what I mean? Even just like buying things and holiday and the rest of it, we think, oh, that's going to fill us up, So if we focus our needs for humanity, we can for our needs for that, for just, so like our own humanity, we can essentially build up our very own health again, right? We can get confident. When we remember to do those things, it starts that forward momentum, because we start all those little humanity wins, then we can start getting into the things that, aren't so, I guess, human, more upgraded, where our frontal lobes are super engaged. But this foundation, this baseline, will damn get us there. So, where are we at? Yep, well, self-confidence clearly shows that Studies clearly show that self-confidence brings about more happiness and confidence in one's own abilities. It equals a happier self due to an increased rate of success. So self-confidence brings about more happiness and confidence in one's own abilities makes a happier person because there's an increased rate of success. So the more confident you are in your abilities, the actually better you do at them. And the momentum gets going forward because you are succeeding a lot more. When we are confident in our capabilities, the more energized and motivated we are to take action and achieve our goals. When we're actually confident in our bodies, yeah, I can do that. Oh, now I'll actually take action, and I'm motivated to do the things to actually either find or achieve my goals, which equals forward momentum. So these are some of the things, some of the studies. I've got 4 here. I'm looking at my article right now, going through it. And so these are the not so complex things to get self-confident. Just fucking saying. Like, these studies show that these increase self-confidence. One study shows the physical activity increases self-esteem. I mean, self-esteem and self-efficacy equals self-confidence. So the more self-esteem you got, the more likely you're going to be self-confident. Another study shows that poor diet choices leads to poor self-esteem, and a healthy diet leads to high self-esteem. Would you even think? This study shows, there's another one here that shows the positive effects of meditation on one's own self-worth, self-value, and self-esteem. Who would have bloody thought? There's another study here. I could have gone for days. one there that shows sleep. Yes, there's another one that shows sleep and how poor sleep decreases self-esteem and good quality sleep increases self-esteem. Oh my God. If you want to be more confident, just do those things. Eat healthy, physical activity, get some goddamn good sleep, and then meditate. Holy shit. All we need to do to optimize our daily week, what we need to do actually in order to do those, just have to go through your routine, your daily routine for whatever you're doing, optimize the routine, go through the things and look at it, and then reflect on those things that I just mentioned and put them in. Then habitize them, make them a ritual, and stick into it. All right, so we're going to deep dive now. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is extremely important to go through. It's a theory that I think is extremely important. It basically just says, if you haven't seen my hierarchy, basically just says like, I won't go into it. You have to listen to my podcast too, otherwise I'll be here for goddamn days. So podcast 2, I go into like my version of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. But basically what it's saying is that if you have a roof over your head and you have like, love in your life and you have a job, it's very easy for you to find purpose and then get up to the top to obtaining self-confidence, right? And I've got the hierarchy here on my actual article, so you can have a look at that. But mine is upgraded. So I basically say if you focus on your physiological health, get healthy, get fit, get your mind sorted, it's a lot easier for you to like yourself, which is easier to cultivate inner power, which is self-confidence. Then it's easier for you to deal with stress, and then once you can deal with stress, you're better at dealing with your relationships. When you're better at your relationships, it's easier for you to actually cultivate the finance, to think about which finance you need, and then it's easier for you to get clear on what hierarchy you need to climb, what is your career and your purpose, and then what impact you want to have back in the world and actually give back. And then as a side effect from that, your confidence skyrockets. So here's another theory, right? TMT, terror management theory. This one is huge. So I strongly believe in this, by the way. This is a theory that is more on the darker side of things. And using them in order to increase your own self-confidence. So terror management theory suggests that exposure to the dark side of things mentally builds up resilience. And this makes sense because Alan Watts says, people should think about death regularly and contemplate death regularly. It increases motivation and helps develop their view of the world just by thinking about it. Because it's scary at first, but the more they think about it, the more that they overcome it. They start thinking to themselves, okay, what would it like to die? Okay, now what would it be like before I was born? What was that like being born, right? You start contemplating these different ideas, and what that does is that kind of gets you motivated to be like, well, I'm going to die. I've been born. I'm here for this short experience. Maybe I should do something with my life. That's what he means by that. Jordan Peterson claims that being exposed to the dark side of yourself routinely on a regular basis helps you get better at dealing with it. He believes that, he's done all the science and stuff that shows that when people are pretty tough and when they're exposed to things constantly, what happens is they get better. Wow. And they get better at dealing with them. And then you may not have heard the term, that which doesn't kill me makes me stronger, by old Friedrich Nietzsche. He's the one who made that term up. God, I love Friedrich Nietzsche. But what he means by that is like, again, the more you're exposed to, what doesn't kill you, the more things that I'm exposed to danger and stuff, the better I can get at handling it. You sharpen your own sword. So terror management says that self-esteem is a buffer against anxiety, meaning that like when you have good self-esteem, it acts as an actual shield against anxiety. And the more self-esteem you have, the less likely you are to experience anxiety. What? How do you do that? Well, that's the thing, as I said beforehand, sort out your health and shit first. It's going to increase your self-esteem. Humans hold great potential for, this is the study quote by the way, humans hold great potential for responding to terror to the awareness of their own mortality, and that worldviews emphasize people's lives in their own significance as humans, protect them against this terror. Stay with me, guys, stay with me. This is nuggets here, all right? I'm going to go through this. Stay with me, thinking caps on. Humans hold great potential for responding with terror to the awareness of their own mortality, and that worldviews emphasize people's lives in their own significance as humans, protect them against this terror. Meaning, as humans, when we are aware of our own mortality and that we can die, and when we can relate to this mortality to our own significance as a human, so who we are as a human, what we're here to do, what's our purpose. As I said beforehand, confidence, healthy, progress, purpose, forward momentum. So when we're aware of our mortality and our significance as a human, this influences our own view of the world, which increases our motivation and drive to live a life they really want to live. Wow. Hence, self-confidence increases when one starts to take initiative on these things. Therefore, you're actually starting forward momentum. Right, and some of those things could be like, okay, if you're aware of your own death, what I want to do is look after my energy, look after my health, all the rest of it. Bang, bang, bang. Confidence comes as side effects. Confidence can also be developed by learning how to deal with disappointment. So when this is like the darker side of things, so learning to deal with being disappointed effectively. And this can be done by being aware of when you're experiencing backwards momentum and then killing it off. So you can deal with disappointment by learning when you're backwards momentum and then doing things to get forward on that. What can you do? Some of those things are literally reading, learning, and making sure that you're growing. It's not just being healthy. I mean, mental health is constantly learning all the rest of it, creating beyond yourself. You know, what is something that you could do that's going to give back to others? How can you learn something new and you know, teach someone, mentor someone else, or something like that? Because that's extremely going to help with all of those things. So, forward momentum. If you're wondering why you're not, if you're not confident in the rest of it, there's some fucking reasons. So there was an entrepreneurial study that I researched on, and it illustrated that by continually learning and growing, you increase the chance of self-esteem, self-efficacy, self-confidence, and entrepreneurial intention if you keep learning and growing. This means that by choosing to learn and grow and increase your inner expansion, you follow along with forward momentum, as I mentioned beforehand. So Ryan Holiday, a significant worldwide best-selling author, says, don't sit and wait for self-confidence to happen. He said, no, you have to go after and get it, and go after and get it. Like, you actually have to work to achieve it. This means actively chasing your self-confidence, being aware that you are not confident or could be more confident, and then going out and doing the things that you value in yourself to increase confidence. And I think on a basic level, we all value health. Friedrich Nietzsche mentions, if you gaze into the abyss gazes into you. So this means what you focus on will reflect onto you. Are your thoughts and inner dialogue focused on negative, anxiety, and depression type things? Stay with me, guys. Or are they focused on positive, self-esteem filling thoughts and encouraging dialogue? Whichever your mind is full of and focuses on its attention on will result in a reflection of who you are, and people will notice that. Whatever you're focusing on, what's your inner dialogue saying? What are you constantly saying in yourself in your own mind? Change what you're saying. Notice them. How can you do that? Start meditating, be aware of your thoughts. How can you get better at meditating? Make sure you have a better energy, sleep well. Friedrich Nietzsche, again, So many a man fails as an original thinker simply because his memory is too fucking good. I had the fucking on there. Man fails, stay with me guys, stay with me. Many a man fails as an original thinker simply because his memory is too good. Well, what the fuck does that mean? Meaning, you cannot memorize confidence. Confidence is a momentum force. Confidence is a skill that is learnt and earned that continually needs refilling and continually needs the momentum ball to be rolling. So situations and circumstances are always changing and evolving, so confidence needs to grow, change, and evolve with you. If you become stagnant, momentum stops, confidence stops. Ooh, fuck, that is huge. That is a bomb. Fucking go back 15 seconds, listen to that again. Questions. What daily rituals are you there? So these are, okay, put your thinking cap on. These are some extremely good thought-provoking questions. Pause the audio if you're listening to this, pause and answer this question to yourself. And if you can, get a journal, pen and paper out and write the answer to these fucking questions. Honestly, you're going to listen to this. Are you going to listen to this podcast again? Maybe, but probably not. So if you're fucking doing something, just get the pen and paper out, because you're going to think, oh, I'll write those answers to those questions down later. No, you fucking won't. Write them down now. Put them in your phone or just say them verbally out loud. Questions. What daily rituals are you currently doing that do not contribute to self-confidence? Don't worry, I'll wait. What daily rituals are you currently doing that you do contribute to self-confidence? Is your routine, this is fucking poor, answer the shit out of this one. Is your routine too safe and comfortable that it's losing forward momentum? Can you leave your safe routine in order to upgrade and make yourself better? Yes, you fucking can. Now that last question is one of Paul Check's questions. I love Paul Check, watch all his stuff. He's a god with everything. And he asked that question. I'm going to repeat that again. Is your routine too safe? Is it too goddamn comfortable that you're losing forward momentum? Is your life too fucking comfortable? Now your momentum stagnant. Can you leave your safe routine in order to upgrade yourself and make yourself better? Yes, you fucking can. What can you do? Now, another one, opposite of self-confidence, is arrogance. Arrogance kills self. So basically, like, kind of what is arrogance? And arrogance is like kind of over belief in yourself. I looked at this the other night. Arrogant. The definition of arrogance is having or revealing an exaggerated sense of one's own self-importance or abilities. So you're expecting or demanding things to happen all the time because you believe that you're the best or most important for whatever the fuck you're doing. Arrogance kills self-confidence. If you think you deserve or you demand or you expect affection, success, or transformation, I'm going to say that again. That's huge. Stick to that as well. Thinking caps on, guys. We're not too far from the end. We're not too far. Sprint to the finish. Soak this in. Take some breaths. We're getting there. So arrogance kills self-confidence. If you think you deserve, or you demand, or you expect affection, success, or transformation, it will never occur. Instead, you'll be left, in most cases, with some sort of disappointment, rejection, that can then lead to blame or narcissistic tendencies. So if you think that you deserve, demand, or you start expecting things like, if you're like, oh, I deserve this or expect this affection. I deserve or expect this success. I deserve or expect this transformation or this progress flow. It will actually never occur. It'll always blow up in your face majority of the time. You'll be left in most cases in some sort of disappointment or rejection that can lead to blame and narcissistic tendencies. We don't want that shit. This can be avoided by making sure you practice humility by being humble. You practice gratitude. You practice respect, and you practice communicating through action and doing. Well, so communicating through action is doing instead of saying or talking. So doing something nice for someone, leading by example, and the rest of it. Having a gratitude journal. Making sure that you give people the respect when they need to, saying thank you when you really need to, and being specific with your thank you. That's how you practice gratitude. Practicing these will increase your own forward momentum. So as a result of taking care for yourself and practicing things like gratitude journals, meditation, getting a good sleep, being fit and healthy, it reduces the risk of stress by increasing your resilience to stress physically and mentally. Whoa, that is fucking amazing. So as a result of taking care for yourself and practicing things like gratitude journals, meditation, getting a good sleep and being fit and healthy, it reduces the risk of stress by increasing your resilience to stress physically and mentally. This means you give yourself the best chance to be grateful, humble, relaxed, and confident. So I personally think that, like, distraction, rushing and being impatient, which I'm so guilty for, by the way, exhausted stress levels, immediate gratification, low self-esteem, it all reduces your awareness of your own ego and your own arrogance, right? All those things, distractions, rushing, being impatient, having exhausted stress levels, immediate gratification on your phones and shit all the time, low self-esteem, even just fucking Uber, immediate gratification, food straight away, you know what I mean? All of these things reduce your own awareness of your ego and arrogance. I find personally, when I experience any of these things, I am so much more unaware and disconnected with myself, as far as leading to arrogant behaviors, which then lead to regret, which then leads to backwards momentum. Fuck. I'll repeat that. All of those things, I personally find when I'm experiencing any of them, that I am much more aware and disconnected with myself in general, which leads to arrogant behaviors, which then leads on to regret. So I'm regretting doing those behaviors. Every time I do something or be impatient, snap at someone, I go, fuck, I shouldn't have done that. That leads to backwards momentum. We don't want no backwards momentum. So just by being aware of those things, being humble, grateful, relaxed, and confident, like, you can supercharge that stuff. So guys, we're basically in the last section here. What do we do from here? As Paul Chek says, to get confident, you need a good solid foundation. We're in the last few minutes, guys. Stay with me. We're on here. What does this mean? So this means to sort out all the simple things in your routine. That's all you got to do, so that you can build your own self-esteem and self-efficacy in order to create confidence. Let's create that confidence. As Ryan Holiday said, get after confidence. Make your own forward momentum happen. That's a Corey quote. Make your own forward momentum happen. Corey quote, make your own forward momentum happen, baby. So to do this, You also got to live towards your values. Paul Check and a lot of science people go into this. What are your values? What do you actually value? Focus your conscious time and energy on yourself, even if it's hard to. Figure some time, schedule it in. Even if there is some dark stuff like that you have, as far as focusing yourself on and like to live towards your values and the rest of it. And you may not like experiencing those things, or you have resistance experiencing or facing those things. You got to do it. Firstly, focus on your most basic values, which are basically, I think, all relatively the same for humans. Remember, we live in a time where our problems are not so obvious, and our problems and our solutions are not that complex, right? We live in a time where that is happening. So focus on your basic values, your basic problems. The solutions aren't that complex. Let's focus on them, put them in a routine, get them ritualized, make habits out of them. What we value on a human level, what we all can value. Thinking caps for this. What do we value as a human level, guys? It's just feeling good, feeling well. We all value that shit. So how do we feel good and well? Here we go. We got some points. Firstly, we focus on getting the following rituals and habits in a routine. Sleep, hydration, being clean and cleaning up after your damn self, healthy eating, train to get fit. Train to get fitter than the average. Do that. Honestly, change your fucking life. Get effective rest and recharge. Rest emotionally. We're so distracted, blah, blah, blah. Relationships and stuff, take time to rest emotionally. Practice gratitude journaling and gratitude. Saying thank you. Noticing when you need to say thank you. And say it in a different way. Maybe show of action, show that you're saying thank you to someone, not verbally showing it, but by doing something. Meditate. Continually learn and grow. Research, journal, write down notes, learn about things that you think is interesting. What to do? How can we actually do that? Create a damn schedule and prioritize these things, and your self-confidence will increase. Your energy will increase, and you will be more resistant to stress and anxiety. Bah! Your self-esteem will increase, and you will have a shield, basically as an anxiety buffer. That shield will be so damn large that anxiousness will struggle to actually get through. So here's some action points for you. We're in the last few minutes, guys. Go through all the points above, like those 10, 11 points that I said, and just write down next to them, write them down if you can, and write down next to them what you can do this week to improve those things. Like, that is such a critical exercise. Like, you might think that, this kind of homework stuff isn't that important. It's the fucking most important. Number 2, write out a schedule. So Monday to Sunday, write out the times of the days. Schedule those routines and rituals in. What can you do? This is homework. That'll change your life. Simple. Remember, our things aren't so obvious and our solutions aren't so complex. Steps. Do a simple journal to figure out what you actually value. Hey, ask yourself the question, what are the top 5 or 10 things you value? Write them down. Say them verbally. What are they? Like, seriously. What are 5 things that you value above everything else? And if you struggle, like answering those questions, you can just Google lists of values, and there is incredible amounts of them. You can have a look at them, or you can either take 2 of the tests. I've linked 2 tests in the article. You can have 2 tests to find out and get more clear on them. One test is a 16 personalities test, which is the Myers-Briggs MCBI thing. Carl Jung made it up. And also a personal values assessment. You can go in there and it's like, these are things that you value. Extremely important. And yeah, that is about it. We got to the end. How good is that? I'm just going to quickly look over the rest, my last page of my notes, but I think that's fucking it, guys. Yeah. That is it. I hope you enjoyed all those things. What are the most important things? Let me recap on just some things. What is self-confidence, inner power, good health, progress, purpose? Keep that forward momentum moving. I shared my experience with competing for the rest of it. We got here, we live in a time where our problems are not so obvious and the solutions are not that complex. We had all those Friedrich Nietzsche quotes. Many a man fails as original thinker simply because his memory is too damn good. Practice being humble, practice being grateful, practice being respectful, and be aware of your own goddamn arrogance. Train your muscles, train your mind, train your intentions. The body most desires is to create beyond itself. That's its highest wish and its whole ardor. That is basically saying, get that forward momentum going. So guys, I hope you like this podcast because feel like I had some moments in there. Huge flex for you guys. If you like this or you got anything out of this, you made it to the end, you're a fucking champion. And if you did get to the end, please share this on your story. Like, if you got anything out of this, like, please, I'm doing this for you. Please share it on your story for me. That helps out a lot. Mention any of the comments. If there's anything there that you think that you thought was good, let me know. If there's anything extra that I needed to add in there, let me know. You've got the 2 personality test things in the thing as resources and a bunch of questions to ask to actually upgrade yourself in your mind. Like when I have my one-on-one coaching with people, we go through this stuff and we do the things. Fucking amazing. Big love, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day and just fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Believe in yourselves.